I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille, and I'm Jan Wall. You're watching Outlook Video.
It's hard to choose when you have so many examples to choose from. But the other day, the man in the Oval Office, his name is Donald Trump, announced that the United States was withdrawing from the Paris Accord. And I have to say that I would choose that as the worst decision his administration has made so far. The Paris Accord is an international agreement that includes more than 150 countries, including just about all our allies, to work together to fight global climate change, which may be the worst problem the world is facing today. By pulling out of it, Trump is telling the world that the U.S. is not interested in working together, can't be trusted, that we really aren't interested in anything besides getting rid of environmental regulations so that rich people can get richer, no matter what that means for future generations, who may all have to learn to swim really good. But as Trump said, I was elected to represent the citizens of Pittsburgh, not Paris. And I could talk about just how dumb that statement is, since the Paris Accord is not about Paris, but the whole world. But I'll leave it to the mayor of Pittsburgh, who said Hillary Clinton received 80% of the vote in Pittsburgh. And as mayor of Pittsburgh, I can assure you that we will follow the guidelines of the Paris Agreement for our people, our economy, and our future. As it turns out, Pittsburgh is dedicated to switching over to green energy, and a lot of people there are getting work in that field. And fortunately, many mayors, governors, and business leaders agree with the mayor of Pittsburgh completely because they're not idiots who don't care about the future. But many Republican officials and pundits are going with Trump on this. And I want to talk about the strange way that religion is being used to justify their position. Eric Erickson, a well-known so-called conservative Christian talking head, said, "I worship Jesus, not Mother Earth. He calls us all to be good stewards of the planet, but that doesn't mean I have to care about global warming." You hear that, and you want to shake your head and say, good God, man, what do you think being a good steward of the planet means? This is just insane word salad. But you know, he invoked Jesus, so he's good. I guess that's the point at which we're all supposed to stop thinking, right there. And then there was a Republican congressman, Tim Walberg of Michigan, who said that if climate change is a real problem, God will take care of it. He says he believes that because he's a Christian. Now, this shows such a massive ignorance of history, science, and theology that it's a wonder the man ever graduated from the 8th grade. Did God take care of the Black Plague, which killed more than 100 million people? Does God take care of famine as children starved to death? Did God take care of the Holocaust? If there is one thing that both history and the Bible tell us, it's that we're supposed to take care of each other. God, however you may see God, may give us the tools, may give us the decent, hardworking people, but the rest is up to us. Would Congressman Walberg tell Jonas Salk, "Don't worry about polio, God will take care of it"? Fortunately for all of us, even Walberg, Jonas Salk decided to develop the polio vaccine anyway. Of course, as LGBT people, we are used to people like Walberg using religion as a weapon to justify cruel and hurtful actions. God told me to discriminate against gay people. My religion tells me to treat transgender people like dangerous freaks. The Bible says I can't bake a cake for your wedding. It's not me, it's God. And of course, it's not just LGBT people. Blacks, women, Jews, Catholics, Muslims have all been mistreated by people saying, God told me to. And now people will justify neglecting or mistreating the whole earth on the same basis. The writer Anne Lamott said, "You can safely assume you've created God in your own image when it turns out that God hates all the same people you do." This congressman has imagined a God who says, don't do anything about global catastrophe. But I have to guess that's coming from the congressman and not God. This is not thoughtful, caring, loving religion. I don't think it's religion at all. It's fake religion, just like the fake news we get from Donald Trump's Twitter account every day. It's just an excuse to do whatever you damn please, and the hell with everyone else. We have to fight it. We have to fight it when it's used against LGBT people. We have to fight it when it's used to support racism. And we certainly have to fight it when it's used as an excuse to pollute the air and the water and the ground that we live on. And I particularly want to say to all the people out there who consider themselves to be religious, you have to fight it. Don't be quiet about this. Don't let people like Eric Erickson and Tim Walberg hijack religion for their own venal purposes. They don't seem to care about what's going to happen to people in the future. But surely you do.
We love to get mail from you. Email us at comments@outlookvideo.org.
To contact us by phone, call 408-293-3040, extension 205.
Visit our website at outlookvideo.org.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/outlookvideo.
And connect with us at facebook.com/outlookvideo.
Welcome to Outlook Video. I'm Gabrielle Antolovich, and we have the Reverend Dr. Bryan Franzen here with us from the Westminster Presbyterian Church. That's only up the street from the Billy DeFrank LGBTQ Community Center. And it's wonderful to have you here.
It's great to be here.
Yeah, so what's the doctor about?
I have a Doctor of Ministry from
Oh.
Columbia Theological Seminary in Decatur, Georgia. And my focus was on gospel and culture.
For blessing the very first rainbow crosswalk that we have across the Alameda, which is a, historical street. And what was going through your mind when you were doing the blessing? So, because everyone was so enthralled.
Well, being that it kind of linked the historic original site of the LGBT community center with the current center, and being such a center for the LGBT community in San Jose, it was really an idea of saying this can be a place of healing, a bridge in our community, and really to say, you're welcome here. This place belongs to you, as it does everybody else.
Yeah. And then when Orlando happened, you showed up. We had a vigil with 300 people. I was so glad to see you there, and then ask you again to say a few words. What was going on there?
Well, I think we all were we didn't know what to do at that point because it was scary, gay bar being attacked is just something that frightens you, because that's always a safe place. When you go to a gay bar or nightclub, there's kind of a sanctuary sort of a feel about it. And I think having a large rally right afterwards and making it safe, and even to see the police there supporting and the community coming together saying, hey, we can't let this change us, and we have to create safety in our numbers. And so that's, yeah.
Yeah. It's really interesting that, in the LGBTQ community, there's such mixed messages about religion, the police, and politicians, all kinds of things, and yet everyone has been rallying around. And you've been a symbol of that, partially because you're on the Alameda,
Right.
and partially because you're family. That kind of helps.
Yes.
And, right now, with the new political regime, there's a lot of religious hate going out. Like,
Right.
I've been told I'm going to hell. I mean, I was happy that they recognize I'm gay, but to go to hell, and how do you talk to people about that? Because you're not on the you're going to hell side.
Well, one of the things that we teach is that evil and hate is like a cancer. in our society, and it grows, it festers, and it builds in people. And so when you get people in leadership that purport hate, that hate just builds in people. And it takes over. It takes over communities. It takes people who normally would be welcoming and kind as your neighbor to turn and become fearful and hateful. And I think as a church, and especially as a mainline church, Presbyterians, United Church of Christ, Unitarians, and Methodists, and all of us, we come from a standpoint that we believe that the message of our church and our traditions is that God is love. And that within love, love can conquer hate. And so no matter what hate is put at us, to combat that with love. I remember when I was a kid, and my youth leader at that time, you know, as a couple of us were being bullied in school, and we would go to him, you know, crying at times, and what do we do? What do we do? He said, you look at them and you say, I love you. And we were like, that's going to get us even more beat up. And but you know, he said, you know, by saying that you love them, first it takes them off guard, and B, it cuts them out from being able to continue their hate.
Thank you so much. I can't believe our time is up already. I'm so glad that you are part of our community, and your philosophy works well with love will always win.
Love will win. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.